Hi everyone, it's Lobster Shorts. So I am going to do a bit of a card tutorial today. I'm going to be using this cutting die from AliExpress. I will post the link for it below. And I'm also going to be using this flip-flop stamp set, which I believe I've shown previously on the channel. And I'm going to be using the sentiment, "You are so flippin' awesome." So I'm actually going to show you making the card today. So these card bases I make out of craft paper, just the 8.5 by 11. And I just cut them, like I score them in half and then I just chop them in half. So this is typically the size I use for my cards. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this piece here. And I'm going to glue part of the barbecue down to the bottom. It's still, I don't know if anyone else has all this, but I usually have a lot of little paper flakes still on my dies pieces after I cut them out. So I'm gonna glue this. So you're probably gonna hear my dog in the background. He is wandering around here. I don't know about you guys, but I am very messy with glue. I get it everywhere. Okay, I try to only put a thin bit, even though this glue is supposed to be really good for not wrinkling paper. I still like to use just a little bit. Okay, there's that dog I mentioned. Okay, so now this part cut out in the cutting die, but I like it in, so I'm just gonna glue it right back in. So you could make it either way, but I want it in. I just like the way that looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna have this piece on top. Now this is how they made it in the example, but I want to put the sentiment in the middle. So I am gonna use my stamping platform by, oh, the dog is jostling the camera, sorry guys. So I'm gonna use this We Are Memory Keepers, I think it's precision press. And I'm just going to put that down here. Just reuse these pieces of tape over and over again. Okay. Almost put that upside down. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this about here, I think. Maybe I'll move it up a little bit. Okay. I think that's straight. I'm not very good at getting things straight, so I'm going to be using this ink, just black ink. Okay, so I think that's good enough. Now you like to use low tack tape for that because otherwise you're going to tear your paper. So just move that out of the way. All right, so the other piece, I'm going to glue, not glue, but take a little piece of this and put it here. So I'm paper piecing together because I did like a colored piece there. No, I can't get it out. Okay. I'm just going to glue that down. A lot of dies, you can usually paper piece them together, and I like that. Okay. Then there was this grill piece here, and I cut that out of metallic. Again, I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on because I find it always squirts out the side and makes a horrible mess. I'm always scrubbing glue off of it. Okay. Sometimes I just like do that and flatten it to the table to help glue things down a little bit too. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up near the top. Again, it has those little pieces stuck to it. I think I need to poke a hole in my glue cap again because it's coming out really thin. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this over the top here. All right. Then I have all these little extras. So I cut these out twice, once in silver metallic paper, and then just in the plain black metallic, because I just want to make the handles a different color. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little glue on the end here. And then stick it down. And then I'll just do the same with this one. Okay, so I'm not doing a very good job of getting those on perfectly. There we go. Okay, so this came with an oven mitt, and it has ketchup and mustard as well, but I think I'll put those on after I stick this down to the card base. So again, I'm just using those craft ones. I'm gonna just put that in the middle, and I'm gonna use double-sided tape for that. I always put a strip in the middle because I found it started bubbling up weird in the center when I didn't do that. So just to be cautious, I'm always gonna put a strip down the center. I'm also terrible at putting these on straight. I have no idea why, but my best way for me to do it is just to place it on as straight as I can. Flip the side over a little bit, just remove one piece of tape, and while it's still sitting up, I just replace it again. And then when I feel like it's good, I'm still not convinced. Hold on. Okay, when I think it's good, then I just stick it down hard and then it'll stick. And then I just pull up the other piece a little bit and then I just peel the tape off. Sometimes it doesn't come off that great. And then I just smooth the rest down and it's usually fairly good. So I'm gonna put this little frame piece around it. And I'm just going to run glue down there. Okay, and now I'm going to try to stick it on without getting it lopsided. So I'm just going to match the corner to the next corner and then slide it down. And I think that worked pretty good actually. I have some glue spilling out though. Okay. All right, I think I actually got that on pretty straight for once. Okay, so then there's a couple extra accessories. All right, so I'm gonna put the oven mitt just on here, just like that, I think. Okay. All right, so where am I gonna put this? Okay, I think I'll stick those there. So, just a little bit more glue. Oh, I think that's gonna be messy. Okay. Alright, so am I the only one that gets glue everywhere? I do that like all the time. So I try to use just a tiny bit, but I still end up smudging glue all over my projects. Alright. There's that one. And I thought I cut this piece out. I was gonna layer it with white to make like that steak, but I think I forgot to do that. But I still have a hot dog, so maybe I'll just stick a hot dog in the middle. We'll do that, one little hot dog. I have this piece too, but I don't think so. I think I'll just stick with the hot dog. Okay. I'm gonna stick that down. It probably would have looked better if I put 2 hot dogs on there, but I'm just sticking with one. All right, now we have these really cute little ketchup and mustard bottles. So there's more of those little paper fragments here. Okay, so maybe I'll stick these in the bottom corner. Okay, I'll do that. Just try to get that little piece off there. Okay. So there's my card. I think that's actually really cute. I like that one. And now I think I'll show you guys how to make an envelope as well. I'm going to show you guys how I make my envelopes. I don't exactly use the guideline here because I find it's just a little bit too small for the size cards I use. So I take an 8.5 by an 8.5 inch piece of paper and I score it at 3 3/4 because their size A2 asks for an 8 and an 1/8, and I just find it's a little too small. So I make my sheet an 8.5, and I'm gonna score it at the 3 3/4 line. And I always do the colorful side facing down because I like that side on the outside of the envelope. I like them to come more colorful. I used to use cardstock paper to make envelopes because I wanted the thick paper. I thought it was nicer, but I actually find the paper cracked too much. So the thinner paper worked a lot better for me. I know some people get around that by spritzing the paper a little bit with water, but this just works better. Okay, I have a very grumpy dog. He's mad my spouse is outside and he's not out there with him, so you're gonna hear a fussy puppy in the background. So I only punch these parts because these two ends just get taped down anyway. Oh, I'm making a mess of that one. That's better. So I have a tip for you guys. I don't know if I should be recommending it because it might wreck your punch boards, but when my blades get too dull, I just punch down on super fine grit sandpaper and it sharpens them again for me. And that way you don't have to, I don't even know if you can replace the blades on the punch boards, but that works just as good, I find. Okay. So here's my card, and that looks like it should work pretty good. Normally I just use a glue stick to stick it down, but I don't have a glue stick with me right now, so I'm just gonna use that same double-sided tape. Okay. All right, so let me see. Yeah, that works pretty good. And there's my envelope. Okay, so I have my wax seal furnace going. I got this one at Craftspire. It's really pretty. I really like the rose gold color. And I'm also going to use this little bunny wax seal. I also got the seal from Craftspire. And even though you're sealing with the wax seal, always glue your envelope flap down anyway, because sometimes these do get ripped off in the mail. So I'm just going to pour a little of that heated wax down. And I'm just going to stick the little bunny right in the middle. And then I'm just going to leave it for a moment. And just wait till it gets hard. If you pull it out too soon, it might get warped. There we go. So there's my little bunny seal. And just because it's the harder to see writing on these, I usually just attach mailing labels with all the info on it as well. And that is how I make my cards. you like these videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Okay, so there's the envelope. Now let's see how that fits. That's pretty good. No, it's not. My envelope fucked up, Jay. It wasn't big enough. What's that? No. I guess I'm gonna go a little bit bigger.